ask our team to switch over for the live stream. We're going to hear this morning from Fulton County Chairman Rob Pitts and Fulton County Director of Registration and Elections, Richard Barron. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for being here with us today as we begin the recount of the ballots. This was somewhat unexpected, but I've been involved in recounts myself, and the losing candidate is entitled to a recount, so there's nothing unusual about the request for a recount. So what we're doing here in Fulton County, being the largest county in the state of Georgia with the most votes to be counted, we have some 13 scanners that you see over my shoulder, 45 to 50 people working, some county people mixed in with some private sector people as well. We'll be working here today from 8 until 5, not working on Thursday and Friday, back here on Saturday from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., Sunday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Monday, if necessary, from 8 until 5. We anticipate, though, finishing up sometime on Saturday, and the reason for that is because on Tuesday, December 1st, there is the runoff election to fill the unexpired term of the late Congressman John Lewis, so some of the same equipment will have to be used. Therefore, we're going to be working overtime, not literally overtime, but working very hard to finish earlier. This is a very transparent process, as you can see, with observers and monitors overseeing, looking over our shoulders to make sure that everything is above board. And I can assure the voters of Fulton County, the state of Georgia, the United States of America, and even around the world that's watching us, that in Fulton County, Georgia, that we run open, fair, and transparent elections. That's what this one was, that's what it is, and that's what this recount is going to conclude as well. So with that, I'd like to bring up our Director of Registration and Elections, Mr. Barron, to talk about some of the technical issues, and we'll both be here to answer any questions that you may have. Mr. Barron.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. What you see behind us, we've got all of the boxes and ballot bags with all of the ballots that we have for this election. They're checked in and out individually. We've already gone through 19 boxes of absentee by mail ballots, which is the category that we're working on first. We will then move to the ballots for early voting and election day after that. Our goal is to get done with the absentee by mail today. We'll see where we are at 5 and determine whether we need to keep going. Then we'll be back on Saturday. I think the chairman gave you the hours. We'll be back on Saturday from 7 to 7. And we're hoping that we can get through this process by Sunday, but we will work on Monday if necessary as well. I think the BMD ballots for early voting and election day are going to scan quicker than the absentee by mail. There, at some points, if you have absentee by mail ballots that have a tear in them or something, we might have to duplicate them, and hopefully those will be few. But we will have a duplication team that will handle those. And as I said earlier, our goal is to be done Sunday. If not Sunday, then Monday. And I can take any questions.
Any questions?
All right, thank you.
Yes.
Oh. We just purchased. Oh, yeah, the question was if we have enough scanners, if we requested any more. A few weeks ago, we decided to purchase more, so we received 7 more scanners. We would have had 6 for today, but I think it was about 3 weeks ago that I ordered 7 more, and they actually arrived yesterday. Well, the machine recount is going to cost less than the hand tally. The hand tally costs cost the county over $200,000. This will be less. We had up to 400 people at a time working at the hand tally. Today, we have around 50 people here. Some are county staff. The contracting staff is what will cost the county extra money. Rental of GWCC, we've entered into a contract with Georgia World Congress Center through the end of January to do multiple things here. But just the rent of GWCC alone for the days that we're here with security is over $100,000. So this should cost us in the neighborhood of $150 to $160, I'm thinking, for this. So it'll be close to $400,000 for these 2 counts that we've done in the last week. What ripple effects does doing these recounts one after another? We have 2 elections next Tuesday. We have one for Senate District 39. We have one for Congressional District 5. So early voting ends today for both of those. We have to have 2 separate check-ins, 2 sets of equipment that are separate, and voters have to check in twice and vote twice if they are in the overlapping precincts for Congressional District 5 and Senate District 39. On top of that, we are processing absentee by mail applications for the January 5th Senate runoff, Senate and Public Service Commission. We also are processing tens of thousands of voter registration applications. Some of the people that are here today have been taken away from the duties of entering applications, both for absentee by mail and for voter registration applications. So there is an effect on the office in that we have to shift resources for these recounts. We try to hire most people away, but there are just some things that we have to have our permanent staff perform and do the training on in order to make the process more efficient.
Sure. Okay. The question is, there are employees throughout the county that stepped forward to help us, and I was am very grateful and gratified that our county employees saw the need to do so and to step forward, volunteering to help us. In addition to that, the Board of Commissioners, we have allocated to date some $35 million for this election cycle. So we actually gave Mr. Barron and his department whatever they needed, because our goal was to make sure that our elections here in Fulton County would be fair, open, and transparent. So we wanted him to have everything from a personnel point of view and an equipment point of view that he needed. And the good news about our employees, that when the clarion call went out asking for volunteers, among our 5,000 employee base, we had more employees step up than we could utilize. So therefore, when I always take the time to thank our employees who did so, not only the rank and file employees, but department heads as well, who have been here around the clock, so to speak, helping us get through this process. And I was saying to someone earlier, none of us realized at the time how important Fulton County, Georgia would be in determining the next president of the United States of America. And in this runoff, this particular recount now, really the eyes of the world are focused on Fulton County, Georgia. And believe me, we accepted challenge. We accepted the challenges back in June, and I think that we passed the test. We've gotten rave reviews about what we were able to do here with the scrutiny that we've been under. But thanks to our employees, thanks to Mr. Barron and his staff, I think that we passed every test with flying colors. Yes. Well, I think that's nonsense. Any criticism that we have received, if you go back to actually, if you start with the equipment, that was new equipment, Dominion equipment, if you go back to the beginning of the year, the election date was postponed 2 or 3 times, from early in February, March to June. You factor in the fact that almost 8 million rather, absentee ballots were sent out that we had to process our fair share here in Fulton County. Voters were not familiar with the equipment. Then comes the coronavirus, which was not anticipated at the time. And what was the impact of that? Polling places that we had normally used for years at the last minute decided that because of the virus, you could no longer use our facility as a polling place. We had to scramble around to find new polling places. Second thing that happened with respect to our volunteers, poll workers, many of them were afraid. In fact, 6 of 7 poll workers at the last minute decided that they would not work due to fear of the virus, so we had to scramble around. Also, the demonstrations that took place. But in spite of all of that, what we did at Fulton County, we said, look, here is a problem. None of this is the fault of Fulton County, but we're being blamed for it. So let's take advantage of this and get ready for what I've called the big dance, which was the election on November 3rd. We went to work. We did several things. We increased the number of polling places to 255, an additional 91 polling places. We had a pool of some 6,000 volunteers, of which we chose 3,000 to serve as poll workers. We expanded the number of drop boxes so that people who did not trust the U.S. Postal Service, they could vote by absentee ballot using one of our drop boxes. We also expanded the number of early voting locations to a record number. We had more in Fulton County than our sister cities had combined. And lastly, we bought 2 mobile units that we used to go from county to county in case there was an event that required, for example, an emergency in one part of the county. We could simply deploy those buses. So we considered every possible contingency, and we were prepared, in spite of the fact that we believe that none of the criticism against Fulton County was justified. And on June November 3rd election, the reviews that we've gotten from citizens who voted, we received an A+. So the criticism or any criticism that we have received has not been justified and not based upon anything that's factual. Yes. I would give Fulton County an A+ for the work that we've done from the top to the bottom. Board of Commissioners, we made the resources available. That's the $35 million that I talked about. The number of county employees who stepped up, and even the private sector in Fulton County stepped up to help us. Case in point, the Atlanta Hawks with State Farm Arena. It has been a community effort for us. We took the challenges of the June election to heart to do what we needed to do to ensure that November 3rd was a success for Fulton County, Georgia, because we knew that there would be a lot of scrutiny upon us, and I believe, as chair in the face of the county, that I would give us an A+ for our effort. Any further questions? All right, thank you very much.
Great.
Where's Mr.
Yeah, you see Raffensperger's